Dear Recruit Your Life Applications Officer, two things I want to clear up about the last video. You know I always got to clear stuff up. One is that stuff likes to pop out of my head. One is that what I meant to say about gayism, transgenderism, and porn is that, again, porn is a liar, and I'm not saying that I can look at porn and tell what goes on in the gay community or in the transgender community, because that's not true. Some of it is because sometimes the trans actors, stars, whatever, they post their own stuff. They talk about the stuff that they post and why they post it, and they talk about what they like, and they show you what they like and things of that nature through porn and other R-rated media. The other thing is that most transgender women, and this is going to hurt a little bit, start out as prostitutes. There's a lot of prostitution more than anywhere else in the trans gay community. There really is. And I think this is where it's the street situation where they put y'all all in the same category, LGBTQ, okay? They put y'all all in there together because a lot of this is on the street. I witness ladies getting together during Pride month. I witness ladies getting together. One time there's something that went on, I told you about the story before, where something went on downtown Pittsburgh, and me and a friend of mine from work, we walked right into it, and there was two trans, well, one was trying to be a trans man, okay, and the other one was just a lesbian, and they met each other, and you could tell by the fact that they were all over each other, that they were going to go and have a one-night stand or whatever. And this was the spirit of Pride Week, Pride Month, whatever. From both sides, there's a lot of prostitution and a lot of illicit sex in the trans gay community and lesbian community as well. Also, I didn't mention in the last video that a lot of times there's a lot of I just left my mind. It'll come back to me. I had just left my mind. Couldn't get it out fast enough. And it zapped. That's the way, my mind works. Homemade lemonade. Woo! Let me share a little bit of Brandon Tatum with you. And hold up. Wait a minute. Am I on? Okay, I am on. Okay. Let me share a little bit of this with you.
445. Text Tatum to 53445 and text Tatum to 53445. I gotta say it 3 times. If you want to be on the text messaging list, I love you guys. Y'all already know what to do. Let's get into this. Ladies and gentlemen, I feel sorry for this young lady. Normally, I just go off and I just bash them and embarrass the concepts that they push into the atmosphere. However, I've been praying and I'm trying to be compassionate about what I say about other people. I'm trying to be more Christ-like and not trying to destroy people and try to understand where they're coming from. However, I'm going to play this clip. I think that this is a problem in our society, and people are being thrusted into a fallen state because they do not observe God. Now, them not observing God is for multiple reasons. Maybe they've been hurt. Maybe they've been exposed to these fake Christians out here. Or maybe they just in denial, but they don't understand that they need God. The pronoun and the non-binary stuff, to me, is a spiritual, mental illness. And I really wish these people would get help so they don't end up like this lady. But just listen to the first couple words that she say and the trauma that she's going through on pronouns. Roll the film.
I've tried calling friends. Nobody's picking up, so I just am going to dump this here. It's the middle of the day. I completely understand, but I just had a really harrowing experience at work. I have this one coworker who simply refuses to use the correct pronouns for me. I've called her out every time she misgenders me, and she just is resigned to not change. And today just broke something in me. I just snapped. I ended up yelling at her after the third time she misgendered me, and within like 30 minutes, like, I use they, them pronouns.
It's more. It's 3 minutes of this. But I would like to understand in a more productive way, what makes a person so irritated at someone using pronouns that may be different than the way they want them to be used? And just think about this for a minute. This is a girl. I can roll the dice, and this is a girl, right? You have to understand that you may see yourself that way, which is fine. Others may not see you that way. You have created an English language structure that is inconsistent with the natural English language. You have created another language. You can, a singular person can be they and them. That's completely against everything in the English language, regardless of what you think your gender is or what you think your sex is or how you see yourself. You are speaking incorrect English. And then you expect another person to abide by that. I don't understand why people get so upset. You should understand that there's two ways to think about it. Just like you want to be accepted for the way you think, you have to accept that others may differ in the way you think. The problem when somebody cries like this, it isn't the pronoun. It's something that's broken on the inside of them that makes them feel incompetent or makes them feel some type of way to get emotional because they don't have control over their life or they feel inadequate on the inside. Because honestly, if you really feel like you a girl or a boy or a they, you should not be too concerned with what other people think. Because when you go home from work, you are who you are. And that's just the way I see it. I'm gonna let you listen to a little bit more of what you have to say because it's very interesting and she needs to be heard on this so you can understand the full perspective.
And she got so defensive, and I just started
Okay, I know if I look at the whole video in its entirety, they're gonna ban my video and it ain't gonna take right. So let me just collaborate on what he's saying here about anger and the trans community. I'm not surprised because if you do something that you know is controversial, okay, and it doesn't backfire, or I'm sorry, it backfires on you, okay, in any way, you're going to be angry. You know, it's just like if I if I say that if I decide to fix something in my house, okay, and I go to fix it, and I've been fixing it for a while, and it was fine for me. It was fine for me the way it was working. And then all of a sudden, when I invite people over to my house, I got all these live wires. I got live wires for the computer, live wires for the light switch, live wires. And people are like, Cruz, like, you need an electrician, or you need to like put some electrical tape on them wires or something, bro. And something happens and everybody's like, dude, you're pathetic. Like, dude, like, don't tell me I know a lot about electricity. I'd get angry. I would, Or let's say I was doing a presentation on my computer and I had it all set and I'm thinking, it's working in my opinion. But then when I go to do the presentation, people got questions and it ain't working right. I'm having technical difficulties, whatever. I get frustrated. I get mad. And I think it's more frustration with these people than it is anger. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, you know what you're doing, and let's say you go to bed with your girl or you go to bed with your wife and you told her, hey baby, keep it hot and bothered, I'm coming home. You know what I'm saying? And then you come home and you go to lay down with her and you can't get it up. And you trying, and she's like, well, get off of me. Get off me. Let's do this at another time. And you get frustrated. And then she tell you, well, look, you can't get it up. That's all it's to it. And I'm being nice by telling you to, like, go have a sandwich or something. You can't get it up, okay? So she gets mad. And I'm like, don't tell me I can't get it up. Well, you can't get it up. I'm telling you, did you get it up? No. So there, okay? It's just like telling these trans people, that like, you look like a dude to me, or you look like a girl to me. I don't care what your pronouns are. You are what you look like, But like he said, he feels sorry for her because, the boss could have been a little bit nicer, you know what I mean? Like, I get tired of apologizing to these trans people every time I say certain things. And what I do is I don't try to be belligerent with it. I just say, oh, my bad, And that's as far as it gets. You try to have a conversation with me, like a lot of trans people do. They try to have a conversation with you about your pronouns instead of just letting you apologize about your pronouns. They try to have a conversation with you about it, give you the third degree, and you're like, okay, you want to have a conversation about it? Let's have a conversation about it. Okay, you know what I'm saying? You ain't no woman, or you ain't no man. That's the man right there. That's a woman right there. Take a good look. You know what I'm saying? You can get really frustrated. You can get frustrated right back and angry right back with these people. You know what I'm saying? Let me listen to some more. I'm going to skip. I'm going to go down because there's a part. I want to get to the part where he's just talking because he does a real good job. I'll listen a little bit more of this.
Saying to her, like, I'm sick and tired of this shit. Like, you need to at least make an attempt. And she popped off, got upset, got defensive. What are you going to do about it? And I just said, I'm going to be really hurt and sad. Like, that's all I can do about it. And the worst part is that at that point, I
want to say real quick, she is absolutely right. Or she, he, whatever that is absolutely right. That's all you can do about it, is get frustrated, because nobody will ever, as long as there's science, as long as there's biology, as long as there's the human body and the human genetic makeup, the human feelings, the human personality, the human bloodline, the human, as long as there's human biology, that's the word, human biology. Long as there's human biology, Ain't nobody gonna fully, completely understand you. Not your mama, not your daddy, not your pastor, your brother, your sister, your best friends. Nobody but your LGBTQ. That's why they put y'all all in the same group. They're the only ones that are gonna understand your situation, because that's the demonic activity that is. Now, one thing good about these dumb people putting all that in the same category, because it's all the same demon. It is. It's all the same legion of demons. It is. Hate to say that, but it is. Sorry if you don't believe in the spiritual, but this is demonic. When you wake up and, it's one thing if you come from a hard life in a really, 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 really bad family, and a lot of them do. Yeah, you can shift that blame on, a little bit. You can shift that blame on the people that brought you into this world, the people that were supposed to be, keeping you accountable and all like that. You can shift that blame on them a little bit. Not really, but a little bit, okay? When you become an adult. But when you have been born to know better, and you've been treated fairly coming up as a child, your parents, your parents treated you like other white people treat their kids, or other black people treat their kids, whichever you are, okay? You know what I'm saying? You don't get to, like I know, for example, that a lot of gay people, and I commend the atheists. Some of them, they don't get over it, but I commend the atheists for putting it in their theology to always try and rebuild their relationship with their parents. But everybody who hates on anything godly, whether it be God, God's form of sexuality, God's form of family, child raising children, parenting, whatever it be, when they go to hating on this stuff, it's demonic activity. It is. And it can be a part of things. Sometimes it's because your relationship with your father was very rough, or your relationship with your mother was very rough, or sometimes it's just that you were around the wrong influences. But most of the time, your actions show something that you went through before, long before you ever made this decision to become LGBTQ. There was other things that were going on in your life that you had to encounter, that you went through, and now this is the new you, okay? But even with that, you're a grown behind adult, if that's what you are, and you know better. But you get frustrated and angry, that is, because you knew, you thought you had it, but then you find out you didn't have it. I got mad at somebody the other day about trying to have a conversation with me about keys. Okay? Like, there's a 7 and an 8 key. I knew the number was either 7 or 8. Why are you talking? Like, why are you screaming? Why are you making all this racket back there? It's either 7 or 8. If it ain't 7, it's 8. What's so hard? I only got to go one key over. What's the big deal? And so I know what that feels like. You know what I'm saying? Well, I had it, but he just ruined it. You know what I'm saying? With being rude about, I took a second more to get to that A key. Give me a break, man. But, I feel sorry for these people, because even though they should have never got into this garbage, now they're in there. And like he, whatever, said, there's not much she can do about it. Now he's got to live with it. Unless he want to be honest with himself or honest with herself, whichever it is. And and say, okay, I made a mistake. Maybe I don't want to do this. Maybe I want to trans back. Okay, I'd rather trans back and look like a daggone a pug, or a Doberman Pinscher. Okay, or a duck or an ostrich or something, and be who I really am biologically, even if I'm ugly. Okay, I'd rather go back and be who I am biologically and be who I really am, and thank God for that much, than to try to keep this up and keep getting my butt kicked emotionally and keep getting hurt, and you know, um, I'm be ready to jump the bridge. As this keeps going. And another thing I want to say is suicide. You committed suicide the day that you decided to put drugs in surgery and cuts into yourself to have your to have yourself maimed or cut. Okay, however, to be this support this trans crap. Okay, that was human suicide right there. People talk about how trans people commit suicide. Well, they ain't committing suicide because somebody said something they shouldn't have said. They're committing suicide because they were at stage 1 of that suicide when they became trans. Okay? Then they committed the actual death of the suicide when they, which was part 2, when they have had enough. Okay? Because you really can't make people buy it. You can't make people happy with it. All you can do is find another way of not being lonely. Find another way of being supported. Find another, know your place. And that's the problem that I have with the entire LGBTQ community. Is, everywhere I go, there's an issue. The lesbians think that they have this thick head where they think that, first of all, you can't tell that they lesbians, and they need to show, they need to remind you, they need to remind men that ain't doing nothing but holding the elevator door. They need to remind men that they're lesbians. They do things that, because lesbianism really isn't about, like I said in the last video, lesbianism is not really about, especially lesbianism, it's not really about women on women. It's more about a woman's problem with a man, or a woman's problem with men, period. Okay? It's more about, feminism and so on like that. It's not really sexual as much as it is, a human resource problem, it's a social problem more than it is a sexual issue. Okay? It's more of a social problem. Because lesbians, they don't understand that when you decide to go out to be a lesbian, nobody really cares until a guy doesn't understand you're lesbian and he's hitting on you. Until he hits on you, he doesn't really care if you're lesbian or not. Whether he knew or not, he doesn't really care. But you want him to think that you're more than just a woman sleeping with another woman. Yeah, you are. You're still the bee that you was, the witch that you was back when you was a teenager. That's why you didn't get along with your parents. Okay? You're still the witch that you was back then. Now you're going to find a way, when you're lesbian, you like girls, but you find a way to get into it with men. Like, find a way to try to push your feminism on men or say something to let a man know that you ain't thinking about him. Well, if I was concerned about whether you thinking about me or not, I'd be trying to have a little social conversation with you, try to have a little humor with you, or a little bit of small talk with you, or whatever. But you feel that a straight man needs to know that you're a lesbian. There's only two people that need to know you're a lesbian: the man that wants to sleep with you, and the women that you want to sleep with. They're the only ones that need to know that you're a lesbian. And like I said in the last video, and let me say this about the whole LGBTQ society: stop thinking that you got to understand, when you go LGBTQ, that's a big deal. And you knew it's a big deal. That's why you go straight into victimization mode when you leave. As soon as you decide to come out of the so-called closet, okay, which that's not coming out of the closet, that's going into a closet, really. But the minute you decide to supposedly come out of the closet, okay, you decided that everybody owes you something. You decided that, oh, I already know that everybody hates me, so I'm going to say this. Or I already know that everybody is confused, so I'm going to say this. I already know. Well, if you know what you're doing, there's no need for you to do anything but, chill and be yourself and do your thing. Okay, if you know what you're doing in the first place. But obviously you don't know what you're doing, okay, and you're confused about your own transaction, so you want to take it out on what the other people, the people that ain't gay, okay, the people that ain't trans, okay, the people that ain't in that community, okay. I don't understand, like he said, I don't understand why these people act like we ain't supposed to act weird, okay, when you show up to a place where ain't nobody in here trans but you. Or you show up to a place where ain't nobody here gay but you. Like, what do you want, man? What do you want, lady? What do you want? If you want to talk about breakfast, that's fine. You want to talk about Jesus, that's fine. You want to talk about ukuleles, let's talk about that. You want to talk about, but when you want to talk about who you slept with last night or who you want to sleep with tomorrow night, hey, look, keep that personal, because even if we're all fornicators, we're not ready for that kind of fornication. Okay? So, like, you just crossed the line when you did that. Like, you can't go out there like everyday heterosexuals and just talk about anything. Get that in your thick skull. Because, hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to be checking his boner tonight and, can't wait to get home and see my baby. That's two different things. Okay? That's two different things. When you a man and you talking about my man, tonight, or you a woman and you talking and you giving, the woman that you live with. Oh, you live with a woman. Okay. You're giving the woman you live with sexy names in front of heterosexual people. What you expect us to act like? We just gonna back up and look at each other and like we checking everybody in the room. She the only one gay here, or am I walking in the wrong room? What's going on here? Did she just like throw her gayness at me? Like, do I give a rat's behind what she gonna do with another woman? Like, let me back up, and in gays in the past had more respect. Now today, you're so daggone disrespectful. This is where that term coming out of the closet came from. Because coming out of the closet means you're not trying to hide your homosexuality. But I was listening to the Hodge twins earlier today. They had me on the floor. the way they was explaining it, it was so funny. But like they said, like, look, we knew you was gay when you was 8. We saw you twitching and switching and you know, acting girly when you was 8 years old. We knew you was gonna grow up gay. What you talking about? How you coming out of the closet? You wasn't in no closet. We knew exactly who you was. Okay, they had me laughing so hard. But anyway, I don't know about 8 though. Maybe 14, you know. But moving on from that and getting back to this, I just wish, like, when I go out, I know my place as a Christian. I can't just sit down with anybody and talk about Jesus. I'm not going to pull Jesus into a hamburger or pull Jesus into talking about, you know, drinking some ginger or some bourbon. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to pull Jesus into every conversation about art. I pull Jesus in there when somebody offends my faith, like somebody says something to me about, hey, don't you think so and so's A is nice? And then I have to remind you that I'm a Christian, bro. I don't really look at women's A's, and if I do take a peek, I'm not gonna let you know that. Like, I'm not gonna share that with you. That would be like really lusting. Like, yeah, she got a beautiful A and everybody at work knows about it. Let's not talk about it. That's perverted. That's being a fornicator, and we ain't even getting any. Okay, that's what that's called. Getting a fornicator that ain't getting a real thing. Like, why are we gonna talk about another man's wife's butt when you know, if we really want to be fornicators, we can go find, you know, we can go out there and find somebody to do that with. You know, I'm not gonna talk about her butt all night. Cause you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna do that. She got a man at home that's gonna get in that butt, okay? God bless his heart, you know. What I want to sit back and sound like a fool for, talking about how I wish, you know what I mean? I don't want to talk about that. I'd rather drink this homemade lemonade that I just made. I don't want to talk about that. Delicious. And so, you know, it's just like, I know my place. I know that I can't take Jesus everywhere and throw Jesus up in everything. I know that me as a short person, I know that I got to watch how I talk to people. Okay? People got to watch how they talk to me too. I had that situation the other day. Okay? Don't think that you can just talk to me any kind of way, because, you know what I'm saying, you know, because, you know, if you think that if you're gonna look at my height, then that means that you actually have to fight me, because it don't mean nothing unless you're really willing. You know, all that big talk don't mean nothing unless you're really willing to really willing to fight me, so you can talk to me any kind of way you want to. Okay, and you know you're not, so why talk like that? Okay, but you know, like, I know my place, and I don't go outside my place with people. And I know my place, and I feel that I'm straight. I feel that I'm a good old Christian, old-fashioned guy. I should be able to talk to anybody and everybody. And most of the time I do, depending on what you want to talk about. But I still know my place. And somebody might listen to me and say, well, why do you feel that you know your place? Just like I had a conversation about all the stuff that I'm talking about right now with a Jewish dude just the other day. And me and him were able to talk about everything from this that I'm talking about all the way to the Christian church. And he's not Christian. He's a Jewish. He can't make up his mind whether he's Judaic or that other religion that Jews practice. Okay? But, you know, we had a good conversation, and we agree with each other that me and him can have this conversation, but we can't have, the two of us have some things in common, and we found that out, and one of them's like, you know, trying to share Jesus with each other. I'm trying to share my angle of the Bible with him. He's trying to share his angle of the Old Testament / a different revelation about Jesus with me. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And that's fine. But see, we have things in common here, so we could do that. But he knew his place because, me and him were talking about it. Like, we don't talk like this with everybody. We talk like this with people that we got it like that with. Okay? And these LGBTQ people have to understand that for their own safety. Like, when you go to work, you should be concerned about doing your job and not about whether people recognize you as being gay or straight or trans. Okay? You just need to do your job, and if you're doing your job as a lady, I really feel bad for you if you're not a real lady. And vice versa, if you're not a real man and you try, I really feel bad for you because, there's a whole lot of acting that goes on. And I've seen it from both sides, trans women and trans men. Okay, and trans men, oh my God, have a habit of saying things that blow their cover right in public. They say one word, and then they have a habit of walking out of a group of men where a bunch of men are having, we're talking about man things. Oh, you don't have one down there. Oh, so that changes the whole conversation, even though nobody said anything about a penis. But because you don't have a penis, we're not allowed to talk about other things either, because they're manly. But yet you claiming you a man. You claiming that a transgender man is a real man. Okay, well, how come real men have to watch their step around you? If you're a real man, they got to watch that they don't step on your feminine mode. They got to watch that they don't, you just walk out here and say, oh, there's too much testosterone in this room. You say something like that, you just busted yourself. Hold up. What do you mean there's too much? You ain't got what? You ain't got no testosterone? You forgot how to play your role. You forgot how to play your role. All right? But like I said, I feel sorry for these people, but at the same time, they got to know their place just like I know my place. And like I said in the last video, your place ain't to walk up to me and talk to me about women when you ain't no woman. How you gonna sit there and tell me, hey, you know what, you ain't ready to get a real woman, you don't know nothing about getting a real woman, blah, 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 blah. Oh my God, I'm sorry, I had no idea. You're a woman? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I knew you was trying to be something. I knew you was gay, but wait, you a woman too? Okay. Now you really need to put some clothes on. You really need to go back up to that hospital room and put your pants on now and your shirt and everything and act like a lady, because you the only lady walking around here with her back out. Okay? You need to go back upstairs to that hospital room and put on some clothes, because all these other patients, female patients that come down from upstairs, you can tell they women because they got conscious about having their back out and showing their panties through their gown. Most of them anyway. You come down here all opened up, got a bulge down here and everything, talking about you don't know nothing about a real woman. You need to get you a real woman. When you gonna get you a woman? When you gonna have a woman in your life? Boy, security. Take your butt back upstairs, man. Let me get back to this, man. Oh,
boss
God.
who claims to be so woke and like happy and joyous and making a safe, positive environment for everybody, gangs up on me with her and says, like, this is Carson, like, shut up, this is not the time for a political statement. And I was upset, rightfully so, but
Long story short, she ended up walking out on her job. She quit her job. Well, they may let her back in there, but she walks out of her job and drives to somewhere and makes this video. I feel bad for her because you could tell she's genuinely upset. The problem is that parents need to help raise their children to be stronger and to be more equipped to deal with reality. If you get so flustered, see, this is the thing, the privilege of these young people is out of control. You know how she can probably walk out on her job is because she know her parents and other people probably will be supporting her. I don't know that to be true, but when people do stuff like this, it's because they can afford to take risks because other people are going to accommodate them. Mommy and daddy is going to let you come stay in the house because you didn't quit your job because of somebody said the wrong pronoun. This is the weak mentality that we're building in our young people. You can't just walk off on no job. You know how upset I was on plenty of jobs that I worked on? Oh, but because I was the sole provider of my own household, which at the time before I was married, I had children, it was just me. I can't walk out on my job. I better find ways to balance my emotions so that they don't overcome me and I make a mistake that I can never come back from. But these young people can just do whatever they want. They just go on and which should give you the understanding that you can never escape what you are biologically born with. You can't escape it. You could take hormones. You can ask people to they, them, you, all you want. But when you go home in the middle and you go home at night, when you go to take a shower or you go to use the bathroom, you're going to realize who you really are or the way you were really made.
Didn't I say that earlier?
It's a struggle for some of these people, but in society, I really do wish that we would teach our young people to be stronger, to be okay with people disagreeing with you. If I had the attitude like this, you know, I couldn't make it in life. You know what I mean? People come out against me and talk crazy to me and say I hate myself and I hate black people and you know, all of these different things. I mean, I've been to events where I had 450 people in the room and only 50 of them were supportive of me. The rest of them booed me on the stage, but I'm confident enough in who I am that I could be the only one saying something in a room full of 20,000 people. And they, not one of them is going to sway, not one of them will sway how I feel because I know it to be true. If she knew that she really was a non-binary person, she wouldn't even care. The fact is, she understands that that's a made-up ideology that cannot be consistent in real life. So anyway, I just want y'all to see that, man. I feel bad for the girl. I want to pray for her that God can open her mind up and give her some peace because they slip these kids down a slippery slope off a cliff. Because it's not going to be, it's impossible to be a non-binary person in the world that we live in. You can't just say, oh, I'm ambiguous. Well, you can, but other people may not see you that way. And you're going to get misgendered for the rest of your life. And you have to be okay with it. Comment in the comment section, like and subscribe to the channel. I love you guys. See you on the next one. I'm out.
So there you have it, folks. I think that's good enough. I am DeRoy Cruz. I am your life applications officer. And let me know what you think. Leave a comment. I will talk to you soon.